Today on What's Next.
What an opportunity this is. You could turn around and do something else. Somewhere inside you, you know.
Whatever hardships we have, because we all have hardships, we get to have a say in what role we give them in our lives.
My health insurance is on my feet, my running shoes. That's it.
Never underestimate the health-wealth connection. The one investment guaranteed to pay the most dividends in the years ahead is improving your health and well-being.
Hello and welcome inside Growing Boulder's What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. This is the show that encourages us all, no matter our age, to enjoy the moment, but also invest in the future, because there is always a what's next for all of us, and it's up to us to create that next chapter. Unlike in decades past, we're no longer constrained to just living linear lives in which our activities have to reflect where we are on the timeline of our life. In other words, you can go to college at age 50, you can get married at 60, you can start a business at 70, begin running at 80, you can take up acting at 90, you can write a book at 100. There are no longer any arbitrary age-related rules as to what's possible and acceptable at any stage of our lives. There are now extra decades that can be filled with passion and purpose and possibility. It is never too late to make a change, to try something new, to dream a new future. Just take it from Lawrence Holofcener, who was never afraid to look at life and ask, why not?
Some people have the toughest time deciding what they want to be when they grow up. Lawrence Holofcener's 85, and even he can't figure it out yet. Oh, it's not like he hasn't tried, but at every normal job, he was a
Failure, total failure at everything except having fun.
So began a lifelong quest for fun.
I mean, I was in a fog all through school, and I wondered what I was going to do.
So he quit college, he and a friend drove to New York and got a huge break, writing songs, something he'd never done before, for Sid Caesar in Your Show of Shows.
You were writing comedy songs for Sid Caesar.
Not only comedy, ballads, all kinds of things, little stuff, big production numbers and so forth, a background for Broadway. And when we finally got the Broadway show, Mr. Wonderful, in 1956, it all fit in, and it was fine.
Too close for comfort, please not again.
Holofcener and Bach wrote this, Too Close for Comfort, sung by the great Sammy Davis Jr. Suddenly, Lawrence was a Broadway songwriter about to become a major success, but just as suddenly, it wasn't fun anymore.
I couldn't take celebrity, and it was offered me. My agents at William Morris said, when I said I wanted to be an actor, why? You're a successful songwriter. Just stick to that. No, I think I want to do something else.
So he became an actor. Why not? You know how nobody makes their debut on Broadway? He did in Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. He starred with Carol Channing in Hello, Dolly, later with Ginger Rogers. And what became of Jerry Bach? Well, he became a superstar, writing the music for Fiddler on the Roof, a show that Lawrence later starred in.
All day long I'd be if I were a wealthy man.
Acting was okay, but he wanted to try other things. His philosophy, once again,
why not? And that's where the way it's been.
So he became a playwright. He booked guests on The Merv Griffin Show, and he delighted in being the one who discovered the comedy team of Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira.
You liked us enough to get us booked on the Merv Griffin daytime show.
Yes.
Once again, Holofcener was a success, against all reason.
You had no experience writing songs, and you became a songwriter. You had no experience acting, and you became a Broadway actor. You had never written a play, and you became a Broadway playwright.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you got into sculpting.
That's a funny story, but never mind.
Actually, it defines his spirit best of all. One day, he decided to give sculpting a try. Why not? So he went to an art museum.
And I said to the lady at the desk, "Do you have any clay that I could buy and some sculpting tools?" She grabbed my hand. She said, "You're a sculptor. A sculptor has gone to North Carolina And we start classes on Tuesday. Could you teach our sculpting classes? Why not? Sure. I mean, and that's how it started.
And that was followed by yet another chance to say, why not?
Director of the museum came to me and said, when are we going to have a show of yours, Larry? What? And I said, you know, a body of work. What's a body? 35, 40 pieces of work, you know, in the main museum in the Gibbs Gallery. Yes, why not? And that's how I became a sculptor.
You're in an age where most people are thinking, it's over, it's past.
Yeah.
It's time to wind down.
I would tell people, and I advise people who've just lost their jobs, lost their husband or lost their wife, or had a climactic change that destroyed them, saying, what an opportunity this is. You could turn around and do something else. What else? I don't know what else. I don't know either. But you know, somewhere inside you, you know.
And look at you, you're still proof that even now, you're still doing that.
Yes, I'm waiting to do something different. But not waiting. I'm doing what I'm doing now, and something will hit me. Could you do, no, I can't. Why not?
Just two simple words that had a profound impact on Lawrence Holofcener's life. Why not? It's a question we should all be asking ourselves, along with four other words. If not now, when? Growing Bolder doesn't ignore the challenges of aging. We know that there will always be hurdles and curveballs thrown our way. What we can do, though, is embrace a positive, optimistic mindset, not be afraid to fail, and learn to say yes to life. What opportunities might lie ahead for you? Well, the next time you have an opportunity to make a new friend, to try a new hobby, to take a new class, or to go on a new adventure, take a tip from Lawrence Holofcener and ask yourself, why not?
I thought people 85 and up were going to be defined by their health problems. What I found was that none of them defined themselves that way.
Hello and welcome back to What's Next. Have you heard about the U-curve of happiness? Multiple studies have revealed that happiness actually decreases in middle age, but then begins to rebound around the age of 50, with older adults the happiest of all age groups. How can this be when an ageist culture leads us to fear and actually resent growing older? Well, researchers say it's because as we get older, we have better emotional regulation. We have more compassion. We have more resilience. We have more comfort with uncertainty. And we have a much stronger focus on savoring the present. We tend to turn away from social competition and turn towards social connection. We learn that less is more and experience is more important than things. We have more time and we have the ability to do the things that we love most with the people that we love most. Now, this very idea became the topic of a book by New York Times bestselling author John Leland titled Happiness is a Choice You Make. By following the lives of several adults over 85 years old, Leland was hit with a profound message that we are all in control of our future happiness.
Whatever hardships we have, because we all have hardships, whatever age we are, we get to have a say in what role we give them in our lives. We can think, oh, my life is defined by these challenges and these hardships or even these losses that I've experienced. Or we can think our life is defined by the way we react to these and that we have a lot of latitude in the way we respond to the challenges that everybody faces. And what I found was spending all this time with people who are age 85 and up who I thought going in were going to be defined by, their health problems or their losses of their spouse or whatever challenges they've gone through. What I found was that none of them defined themselves that way. Only other people define them that way. And that was just this hugely liberating lesson for me. And it just helped wise me up and see that the losses I'm going through now, the challenges I'm going through day to day, I have a great say in how I deal with them, and that's going to be true tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And it doesn't mean that loss doesn't hurt, right? Because loss hurts. We hate to give up anything that we have, and we lose people that we care about, and it knocks you to your knees. But almost always the story of loss is also the story of resilience and recovery.
How do we keep meaningful relationships going and also keep socialization as a big part of our lives?
I think the people who saw themselves as having something to give in these relationships, that they were still providing something of value, pursued them the most aggressively or assertively. And the ones who saw themselves as just being needing things from the other people were maybe the shyest about pursuing a range of personal connections. But what I saw was a lot of resilience in that, and the people who saw themselves as the authors of their lives, who could determine whether they were going to be social or not social. So it wasn't just having those relationships, but feeling that you're really an active player in them and you're bringing something to the other person instead of just having the other person bring something to you.
So there you have it. 2 very important keys to a happier future: developing a positive attitude and maintaining meaningful social connections. Embrace those keys and then add in a little physical activity and a sense of purpose, and you've got a longer, happier, bolder life ahead of you. All right, time now for our bold social clip, which comes this week from the new 65 Plus, presented by Humana and Growing Bolder, a stereotype smashing campaign that celebrates the passions of older adults and inspires others to embrace a happier and healthier lifestyle.
It's never too late to learn new things. We both tried learning a new dance. We kept practicing, and at that particular party, we were able to get on the floor and demonstrate that dance. And we were so excited and pleased with ourselves. We were very happy then. This is a person who really understands me, supports me, encourages me, and she actually helped me to become an artist in later life. That's how I became a craft and floral artist, is through my friend Aqua. Art and friendship and being young mothers is what really connected us together. To me, the new 65 Plus means new adventures, new opportunities, an extended life, a lot of hope. We have a lot of things that we can accomplish, and being in community with others in our age group in the senior years, it really helps us to live a much longer and happy life.
Welcome back to What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. We are all about living in the moment, but also understanding that much of what we do in the moment will have an impact on our future, on our what's next, which is why we talk a lot about the health-wealth connection, because the greatest expense we will all face as we age is healthcare, which means that the number one investment we can all make, the one thing we can all do that will deliver the greatest rate of return in the years ahead, is making positive daily lifestyle choices. A healthier lifestyle will mitigate future medical costs, while developing positive savings habits will prepare us for any unexpected health challenges down the road. You know, this is incredibly important for all of us, but most especially it's important for women, because women on average live longer and make less. They're more likely to work part-time jobs that don't offer retirement plans. They're more likely to interrupt their careers to become caregivers. They lose an average of $500,000 over a lifetime due to gender wage gap. They work an average of 12 fewer years. They live 4 years longer and are 3 times more likely to live alone. Multiple studies now show that the number one fear of many adults, especially women, is running out of money before they run out of time. And it's not an unfounded fear. Actuaries are now calculating what they call longevity risk, the very real and rising risk of outliving our money. And once again, the answer is lifestyle. Unfortunately, 35% of all U.S. adults don't exercise at all. and only 17% of men and 13% of women over the age of 65 are sufficiently active. The result is that 70% of Americans are now obese or overweight, and by 2030, experts estimate that 50% of us will be diabetic or pre-diabetic. Preventable chronic illness resulting from poor lifestyle choices is really the true epidemic of our times, leading directly to decades of disease and disability, and of course, rising healthcare costs. We see older adults all the time that have very little savings but continue to live active, engaged, and happy lives because they have invested in their health, because they leverage the health-wealth connection. Our friend Ann Call was the perfect example.
89-year-old Ann Call runs year-round.
My health insurance is on my feet, my running shoes. That's it.
If it's too hot to run in the street, she runs in her pool and encourages friends to join her.
Anne is such a great motivator, and she just draws people into her circle.
She also illustrates original motivational fitness calendars that she gives for free to anyone who wants one. How can she live and give like this?
Because I don't owe anything. House is paid for, car is paid for. I'm solvent, totally solvent.
Never underestimate the health-wealth connection. The one investment guaranteed to pay the most dividends in the years ahead is improving your health and well-being.
Ann passed away at the age of 92, but she lived alone, independent, and active until the very end. She didn't run out of money before she ran out of time because she remained active and socially engaged, and because she lived frugally and she saved regularly. Saving regularly is another important key to the health-wealth connection, and it's why we're fans of a company called Raisin. Raisin is all about not only making it easy for you to save, but also helping you get the best rates, whether it's in a traditional savings account, a money market deposit account, or in a certificate of deposit account, by giving you access to 75 banks nationwide with no fees. I spoke recently with Raisin CEO Chetan Duransoy. We talk a lot about, the health-wealth connection and the fact that we really can't improve one without improving the other. The two are inextricably combined. How can putting our money to work impact our overall health and well-being down the road?
Majority of the consumers actually either doesn't have a savings and they put their next 1 year of savings in a checking account, or it sits in a very low paying savings account. And putting that money into a high yield savings account, a money market, or a CD is going to ensure that your principal is protected while you're getting a return. And in terms of the connection to the health, if you look at the very high credit score consumers, if they got into a hardship, 1/3 of the time is a result of some kind of health problem. And health problems, the insurance may or may not cover everything. And you don't want to borrow from your credit card for those things. You want to borrow in an ideal state to, you plan for that day that it may come. If it never comes, that's a nice surprise. You have a big chunk of money that you can use. But if it comes, saving for that day is a very important part of the planning, both for wealth planning and also the health planning.
With healthcare costs rising rapidly, we all have a responsibility to ourselves and to our families to minimize the amount of care that we'll need as we age and to prepare to pay for it if we do need it. You can learn more about Raisin and how it can help you leverage the Health Wealth Connection at raisin.com/growingbolder and use the code BOLDER to earn $50 in bonus cash with a qualifying deposit of at least $5,000. Terms and conditions apply. Hello and welcome back as we wrap up this episode of Growing Boulder's What's Next. Each week on Growing Boulder's Facebook page, we ask our followers to answer the Your Take question of the week. This time we ask, what is something that you're doing to invest in your future? The key to investing, whether it's building anything that holds value, our health, finances, strong relationships, is a commitment to consistent effort and disciplined actions over time. The problem is that most of us are simply hoping for some sort of magic bullet, a pill that will give us health and happiness, that will improve the quality of and the length of our life. The problem is there isn't one, and there's never going to be. We can't buy health and well-being. We've got to earn it by investing in it through our daily lifestyle choices. So here's the question of the day, folks. Who is your primary care provider? You are. So get going, because that's Growing Bolder. We'll see you next time.